Hello everyone, good afternoon. It's getting crazy. Traffic is getting bad. It is now 6 o'clock and I still got 4 hours and a half to go. I want to thank you guys so much for continuing supporting my channel, and I really appreciate all you guys' comments. Anyway, I wanna continue my story. So I found out that he didn't love me, right, when he married me. So that gave me sort of closure in my head. So I just stick around with the marriage because the kids were still little too. And after working in the factory for I think over a year, and I got promoted to be a ripsaw operator. So that means I made a little bit more money. And then I moved upstairs, the second floor, where the machine was. And then during lunch, here's Carl came over and talked to me during lunch and congratulate me for getting the job. And I didn't really pay attention with Carl downstairs on the first floor, but I guess he noticed me. And then we talked, you know. He asked me where I'm from. I told him where, and then I came from California. We talked, and he was so interested hearing my story in California. He never been out of Tennessee, the state. Every now and then he come over and talk. Sometimes he don't. You know, we're just a co-worker. And then, to make the long story short, after 2 years of working permanent in the factory, between me and my husband income and credit, you know, was good enough for the bank to approve us to for a loan to buy a house. So that was good. We bought a 3-bedroom house, and so the kids at this time have each room, and there was a garage and basement. And then later on, here's come Carl again during my lunch and told me, hey, I saw you at the yard sale in such and such place. I said, oh yeah, we live there now, we moved there now. And he said, oh yeah, you know. And I said, yeah. And then I didn't think anything about it. And after that, he drove by there, you know. So he stopped by there, and I said, how do you know where I live? He said, well, you told me which area, so I just drove around, and I thought to stop by to say hello. He said, we talk in the porch because we have a front porch, and then we kind of share some little bit of problem at home, you know. And he was 25 years old and I was 26. I'm like 8 months older than Carl. He continued talking to me as a friend. You know, I kind of like talking to him because Carl is so mellow. You know, and then he come over again at the house, and I was so busy cooking at that time, and then I let him in the kitchen. You know, I don't know why I let him in. I guess I kind of start liking talking to him, you know. I know this is wrong for a married woman to accept a visitor in the house. When you're not happy in your marriage, you didn't think anything like that. And then that night, Carl asked me for a kiss. And can you believe that I kissed him too? And then after that, You know, I still didn't think anything about it. You know, that was just a kiss, and then he went home. You know, we were bad. And not long after that, my husband told me that the neighbor said she saw a guy here, and I told him, "Oh, that was our co-worker. You know, he worked downstairs." And he was like, "What?" You know, he was kind of mad. I said, "Yeah." You know, and he came over and we just talked. If you don't stop talking to him, I'm gonna do something. He said, "I'm gonna tell his wife." He said, you know, so I stopped talking to him. Here, okay. After that, I told Carl during lunch, when he come over on my machine again, that, hey, my neighbor told my husband that you came over and he wants you to stop coming over. Carl, at that time, he's got a preacher friend. I guess he shared that, you know, that about me and him. And there was already a rumor that me and Carl having something going on. You know how people are in the factory. And then my husband spread the rumors right away. I was bad. I'm not gonna lie. And then after that, you know, my husband told me to avoid him, so I avoided him. In order for me to avoid him, I moved to plant 4 because we were in plant 1. After that, it was fine and dandy. I haven't heard from Carl for 6 years. To make the long story short, at this time, me and my husband been married for going on 12 years. After that, it went bad again because I had a co-worker. I became friends with the Latinos woman, and then they invited me to their party. I had a good friend, a Latino co-worker of mine, that we became really close, and then there go again. I end up going out with this guy. Yeah. And then when I started going out with this guy, I confessed to my husband and told him that I wanna get divorced. Yeah. And then he told me why, and I told him I don't wanna be in this marriage anymore. He said, "Oh, why? Because of him? Because you like him now, blah blah blah." I said, "No, that wasn't my plan to be with a guy anyway. I just want to be single at this time. You know, I was in my 30s and I kind of like not to be with my husband anymore." So that didn't go well. He didn't like it that I'm gonna divorce him. I filed a divorce anyway. After that, it got bad. You know, there's a lot of things. To make the long story short, guys, that's how it ended my marriage. I had an affair. That was the end of it. Okay. And then after my divorce, 6 years later, here comes Carl knocking on my door. His wife left him, and him and his wife were getting divorced too. And I said, "How do you know where I live? How did you find where I live?" He said, "I went to your husband's friend, the friend of mine too. And I asked my friend, and he told me where you live. So now, I found you." That's how me and Carl got reconnected. We've been together for 19 years. Although we only been married 11 years. It's a long time before I decided to marry him because I got traumatized on the first marriage. You know, so that's where my story ended. Okay, guys.